Hey guys, how's it going? Ed here with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Interlude Man by Amouage. The fragrance has a very aromatic opening that's herbal and spicy. First to hit us is the Bergamot, and tucked underneath that initial blast is the Oregano. Then the Pimento berry oil comes in, combines with the Bergamot, and the harshness of the Oregano is the first thing to labour. But we're smoothed by the very natural, finely balanced smell of the pimento berry and the bergamot. For me at least, this creates a very calming effect. I describe this part of the top of the fragrance as Arabian zestiness. This, along with the slightly spicy / dry fruit accord that I get, sets things up perfectly for the heavy, heady, potent, dense mid. Now, the way the smoky, ashy, burnt woodsiness creeps in, combines, and then envelops the wearer is nothing short of mystical, and this is the most dominant part of the fragrance. Frankincense, Agarwood smoke, and the myrrh combine to give us the feeling of almost 2 or 3 layers of heady, harsh smokiness encircling you, giving a feeling of depth. There's also a strange sweetness tucked in there as well. The mid of the fragrance lasts an absolutely ridiculous amount of time. Now, what's funny is that this juncture of the fragrance, and despite not being to this part of the world just yet, for some reason reminds me more of a Nepalese Buddhist temple rather than anything genuinely Arabian. But then that's just the mental imagery that I associate with this part of the fragrance. And as the fragrance starts to dry down, we still get a little bit of the lingering smokiness, but Interlude Man now has a warm, woodsy, resinous, sweet vibe to it. I get a vanillic accord from the amber and the sandalwood, and it's also a little bit leathery. We get a slightly animalic, translucent, warm skin accord that appears from time to time. Now, buried 6 feet under the rest of the notes is a vague fecal smell that pops in and out, which I absolutely hate. It's barely noticeable, but it's definitely there. The fragrance is a very dense, heavy jumble of notes and accords, which doesn't really appeal to me, and the fragrance overall leaves me feeling a little puzzled. As soon as you spray this on your skin, you can immediately tell it's made with a lot of high quality raw materials. It's a very strong fragrance, so much so that I can even smell it through the cap of my little sample. But in the realm of niche fragrances, I don't consider this to be a terribly original composition. Interlude Man is one of those fragrances that will wear a little different for everyone simply because there's so much going on in there. For example, for some people, the top is sweeter with a little bit of a licorice vibe and a lot less aromatic. Some people get a roasted peanut smell from this, others even barbecued meat, and yes, for the record, the other day I sprayed a little bit on a wool jumper and it smelled like I was wearing barbecued chicken. I've even heard that some people get a plasticky or a strong petroleum vibe from it. But the standout section of the fragrance is that densely packed, jumbled mid full of smokiness and ashiness that lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts. So you really have to try it on the skin to see if it works for you. Despite the heavy and overpowering nature of this fragrance, it could still be a signature scent for someone out there. Now, in my opinion, this is far too dense to be worn in the day during the spring or the summer. You could maybe pull this off in the evenings if you're outdoors, but only if you use a single spray or maybe even half a spray. For most people, it's probably best worn in the evenings in the autumn and the winter. The fragrance probably isn't very good for a first date or for clubbing. This strikes me as a very formal scent rather than an office sort of a scent. Definitely an outdoorsy fragrance for the cool and cold temperatures. Make sure to go extremely easy on the application of this as it's so incredibly strong. Age range for this would be probably early 30s upwards, as it's very much a grown-up scent. after having lived with this fragrance, I'm not really a fan of it, as it's just too much all round. And yes, the longevity, sillage and projection are all off the charts, but wearing this fragrance is the olfactory equivalent of being hit in the face with a brick. So, final ratings for Interlude Man by Amouage. Projection 4.5 out of 5, sillage 4 out of 5, longevity 4.5 out of 5, and it's worth noting that I got around 20 hours out of this fragrance. And finally, the overall smell is only a 2.5 out of 5. So that's been my review of Interlude Man by Amouage. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Cheers for watching and take care.